to date and to court a woman and to spend time with a woman, it costs. We're not saying that her time costs, but it costs. It costs to go have a drink. It costs to go have dinner. It costs to go to a museum. Even if you got a little cheap date on some happy hour margaritas, you're gonna spend about a good 50. You know 50? What I mean? Mm-hmm. On margarita.
Gotta be more than that. $50.
Man, I don't know. I'm just putting some random happy hour number out there.
But I'm just shouldn't have said nothing. My bad.
It costs. That's the point I'm making, is that it costs. So like, if your money isn't right and you can't like just easily go out and spend the money that it costs to court a woman, to date a woman, that means you're probably too broke to be dating. If spending a little $50, a little $100, a little $500, whatever it is, if it's an issue to spend it, then that's how you know you're broke. But being broke is fine. I just want to say that real quick. I was broke at one point.
We all was.
I was 100% broke at one point. Thank God my dad let me move home and he paid my bills.
I'm gonna have to agree with Erin. I'm not gonna put an actual number on what it means for a guy to be broke, because I can't tell you how much money you're making is not enough. Mm-hmm. Because I probably am not making as much as I feel like you should be making to make that judgment. Yeah, to make that judgment.
She tried to clean it up in the end because she tried to, I think she realized where this was going and why it wasn't going to go over well in the first place. And that's why she tried to include it and make it seem like, well, you know, I was broke at one time too. Yeah, we know. Most women are broke, especially when they start getting in a dating phase. And then one of the reasons why, when women start to have some level of success, doesn't mean that they necessarily deserve a great man or anything like that. But when they start to make a little bit of money, and that don't even mean that they debt free or that they don't have a whole lot of student loan debt or that they know how to manage the money effectively, just that they may be in a phase in their life where they're taking in a little bit of money. That's why they start to say stuff like, I want a man that makes as much or more than me, because their inherent nature is still to operate based off of trying to retire or having an option to do what they want to do, but not having to necessarily be contributing in or be required to contribute in. And so we still live in this space where women are hypergamous, right? But in a general sense, she tried to clean it up at the end. And even when she cleaned it up, she said that her father was still taking care of her, meaning that inherently men still have to be in a space where they have no safety net. There is nobody that's going to take care of you. There is nobody that's going to save you. There is nobody that's going to come to your rescue. You're going to have to do what you're going to have to do in order to make sure that you feed your family and take care of business and be on top of things. That's number one. But number two, she's saying that if you're broke, which broke is subjective because everybody has a different definition of what success is. But if you're broke, then you should not be dating as a man. And I absolutely, positively disagree with the premise, right? I live in a space to where I always advocate for people not to be dating anyway. They need to be networking. If you want to find the person that's your person or the person that's authentically with you, or if you want to be able to vet somebody effectively, stay out of the dating game and just learn how to grind, hustle, and then spend the majority of your time outside. Go outside and do things. Go outside and work out. Go outside and be active. Go outside and participate in whatever is hot in the community or hot out there, at that particular time. You know what I'm saying? If you go out to a restaurant, don't sit in the booth, sit at the bar, have conversations with people, right? Interact, get to know people. Join whatever it is that's local that's happening at the time and be a part of what's happening, because you're never going to be able to make friends or get opportunities or even be able to meet people and then authentically see what it is that they doing and got going on and then make connections without you actually going outside and participating in what's going on in society. That has nothing to do with dating. Often at times when you then get into those environments, whether it's getting introduced to different people or meeting different people and becoming a part of the organizations or whatever it is that you have going on, often at times what will happen is you'll start to attract yourself to what you are. Meaning that you'll get to observe people, including women, without necessarily having an interest in them, but just being able to get to observe who they are, without having to have any requirements or obligations that come along with it. You get to see how she operates under duress. You get to see, what her thoughts are without having to worry about putting her best foot forward. You get to see a lot of things, including how she treats her friends, what her mentality is. Often at times, women that are super comfortable, they'll let out the different ways in which they talk to men or how many different men they talking to, or they'll, communicate that without necessarily having to be asked it, which is another way in which you can see whether or not she's super promiscuous, her body count and all of that, right? You can spend enough time around people, you'll start to attract or get away from certain environments based off of what direction that you're going in. And that's why I tell people not to date, because you can then see who people authentically are most times in most instances, right? But then in addition to that, right, let's go back to what she was saying about having money when it comes to dating and all of that. The problem with people today, especially men, is that they feel like they need to lead with their money in order to get the thing that they want. If the woman is with you based off of what you can do for her, that means that she's not going to be around as soon as there's a rough patch, or she's just looking at you as a come up. Men want to take care of you, but men don't want to be used. And let's be clear. When I say used, I mean misused, because everything is transactional and everybody is using somebody, but nobody is misusing, or you don't want to be in a position where you're being misused. We want to make sure that you're good when we love you, but we don't want to be used or to be leveraged for your benefit just for that reason alone. It's supposed to come with it. One of the benefits, especially when you're younger, of aligning yourself with people or finding your person, if that's what you want to do or that's the direction that you want your life to go into, one of the benefits of it is that you know that that person is authentically with you because of you. Even if you have money, the reason why I say don't lead with money or downplay who you are or downplay your success or don't drive your good car, drive the car that you just hang out in and get around. A lot of times I just like to hang out in the Hyundai because it's the truck where I can throw stuff in the back and then I can get it over into the studio easier. But then you get to see how people authentically treat you when they don't know who you are. When people don't know who you are, they treat you different than when they know who you are or they see you pull up in that thing. You know what I'm saying? And so you want people authentically there. And I'm not talking about the buzz down, because a moment is a moment, and that's a completely different conversation. And I'm not advocating for it, but I understand the nature of people. But I'm talking about people that you actually want to or is taking seriously as far as becoming your inner circle. When you are with somebody or you get to interact with them and there's no money involved, you get to see how they really are. You get to see whether or not they really with you. You get to see whether or not they're going to treat you well. You get to see whether or not they're loyal. And when you building it from scratch, especially when you're younger, especially when you don't have nothing, and the person is willing to be there with you and ride out regardless of what the results are, then that's what your person is. And so what these people are telling you, and often at times, and I don't know whether or not that chick was single or the chicks was single that was on that platform or not, but what I know for sure is that most of the people that are giving you advice with regard to dating, they're giving you this fluff, this surface level, hey, don't date unless you got money and all of that type of stuff. No, what I tell people is grind, hustle, and even if you are getting money, stay down long enough to where you can get to a space where you ain't got to worry about money later on in your life, because you want to build up the nest egg that then allows for you to invest in assets that then you don't have to worry about money for the rest of your life, especially early. So even if I'm getting to the bag and I got money, that don't necessarily mean that it's going to translate into you, because you shouldn't even know what my lifestyle is like. And then more importantly, it should be more about my vision and my work ethic than it is what it is that I got in my bank account, because even what I got in my bank account is not necessarily going to translate into taking care of you. You just going to have to be there for the right reasons and be willing to build up under my vision versus looking to take care of or be taken care of or find me at the finish line. And when you get an opportunity to build with somebody early, or somebody is down for you early and you ain't got nothing, that's probably the times that you actually find the people that's most loyal and willing to rock with you, especially when you get to the spaces where you're supposed to be in from a success perspective. So stop taking this advice as gospel. Stop taking these people that's giving you advice on what it is that you should be doing. And again, I understand that they talk shows and I understand that they're giving you their theory of what success is supposed to look like when it comes to relationships. But take it from me, man. Somebody that's willing to shoot in the gym with you is much different than somebody that's willing to meet you at the finish line. if she not willing to date you or go out and hang out, and you got to go out and spend $500, even $100, even $75, that's not necessarily the woman that you want to be with. And I know it, again, it could be enticing or it could be the thing that everybody is doing, so you'll find yourself falling into that trap, but it's not necessarily the thing that you should be doing, and you should be very, very careful as to whether or not that's what it is that you're going to do when it comes to the woman that you're going to be with, right? So be careful. Take that advice for what you think it is. Let me know in the comments whether or not you agree with me. Let me know if you agree with her or if you agree with me. And then make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I'll see y'all for the Millionaire Morning Show in the morning. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.